processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com. In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media
You
operations.
let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime Directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
I don't know what he is, except a conspiracy theorist.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at InfoWars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Minute TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Come, you masters of war, you that build the big guns, you that build the death planes,
That's Bob Dylan bringing us
you
in.
that build all the bombs.
Joe Biggs is with us. David Knight, our reporters. I'm Alex Jones, your host. Second hour coming up jam-packed as well with Jakari Jackson, Leanne McAdoo. Joe Biggs has got some reports we're going to premiere here on the radio, where you go out and talk to folks about, can the average U.S. citizen answer any questions off the citizenship test? There's a reason we've gotten in this bad position, and that these Rand Corporation people and Georgetown professors and Marine Corps officers can just sit around talking about anybody that wants freedom like they're trash. And now we're the corporate Borg. You will be assimilated. It's all over. But I want to play this clip here. This is Larry Grafwald, just died last year. Highly decorated Green Beret, Vietnam. Came back, infiltrated for the FBI. This is all confirmed in court. Weatherman admitted it. He helped convict them, bombing police stations and stuff. And he was in the meetings where they said, we're going to put 50 million, mainly rural conservatives, in FEMA camps. And then we're going to kill 25 million of them. Now, you just heard earlier the clip where they said anybody that's a true believer who won't accept what we want, who won't accept total control, got to be killed. Well, here's what the communist had to say, and then you understand how much trouble we're in and what this takeover is all about.
And they felt that this counter-revolution could best be guarded against by creating and establishing re-education centers in the Southwest. Where we would take all the people who needed to be re-educated into the new way of thinking and teach them how things were going to be. I ask, well, what is going to happen to those people that we can't re-educate, that are die-hard capitalists? And the reply was that they'd have to be eliminated. And when I pursued this further, they estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill. 25 million people. I want you to imagine sitting in a room with 25 people, most of which have graduate degrees from Columbia and other well-known educational centers, and hear them figuring out the logistics for the elimination of 25 million people. And they were dead serious.
And you're not going to make jokes about Michelle Obama and Barack Obama and stuff and, say they're goofy or whatever. Quite frankly, I don't care what Barack Obama does in his private life. I don't like the fact that he calls gun owners, conservatives, and Christians bitter clingers who they're going to defeat. These people have a beef with us. Staff Sergeant Biggs, what is your take on seeing the Marine Corps officers talk like that and then flipping it back to the communists talking like that?
It's something that's just been steadily building up. They keep releasing these documents, and these commanders are pushing out these directives to the lower chain commanders at, battalion levels to watch for these soldiers who have these that are true believers, patriots who collect guns and who go shooting and who, talk about the Constitution and who are very pro-American, these are the ones that they want to look for. Those are the ones that get flagged, per se, and are watched closely.
We're now being identified as the enemy.
Yes, and it's ridiculous.
It's a preparatory phase. What about the last document that came out where it said Americans opposed to a socialist New World Order? I
just don't get it. I mean, I joined because I thought it was good to be a patriot.
And your dad was in the Army?
My dad was in the Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
Yeah, I joined because I wanted to be a patriot. I want to do something for my country. And now it's being flipped that me doing that is evil. And now the government wants to track me and put me on no-fly list and, take my rights from me.
Well, that's because they're done with you now. They got robots coming out.
Yeah, they're scared that I know a lot of the stuff back there. They don't want me talking about the things that I've seen, how the DEA, have us guard certain, heroin crop fields and, burn down some other ones, and pick and take these people to these little areas and have them tortured. They don't like that. And they're mad that we see this and we get teed off about it and we speak out. And now we're labeled a terrorist. I mean, it's scary.
And by the way, you're in a major Esquire write-up with the late Michael Hastings. So a lot of this stuff's documented on record if you're a new listener about Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs. We've only got about 6-7 minutes left in this hour. David Knight, let's get to some more of these clips.
Well, Alex, we've got one from a colonel who is talking about low-tech wins. And this is also the same colonel who said that true believers have to be eliminated, whether Muslim, Christian, or Marines. And listen to what he says, because I think this is something that we can look at and take some hope in.
The character of the war never changes. So what's the enduring characteristics of insurgency? The first and most important is that it is political in nature, not military. Everybody understands the West's critical vulnerability is our political will. And one of the interesting aspects with our love of technology is that pretty regularly the low technology side wins. The argument that no one has ever won a war without air superiority is not quite true. They're protracted, think decades, and this is another problem we really have in the U.S. We really want to think a long war is 3 or 4 years. The Chinese fought for 27, the Vietnamese for 30. The Palestinians have been at it since 1968.
And this war that is coming towards us is something that's been planned by the globalists for a century or longer, right? We've talked about this, where this is coming from. It is a very long, protracted, gradual thing.
Because they're using their lessons from other countries and phrasing it like it's the West and America. No, it's the globalist hijacking America.
Well, this technology is taking war from being personal and making it non-personal. You know what I'm saying? When you go and you stab someone, you look in their eyes, you see their eyes dilate. That's a personal, horrific experience. Now we have all these drones and you push a button, and David was telling me a story about a kid who, flew drones. He was going through a simulator and he killed a kid and it affected him and he wanted to talk about it. They're giving pilots who fly these drones Purple Hearts for carpal tunnel syndrome. This is ridiculous. When you take war and you make it not personal anymore, that's when it runs rampant. I mean, it's easy to sit in Washington and have these millions of people killed.
But you wouldn't be for war so much if you've been blown up in armored vehicles like you have.
Yeah. It's just, I find it repulsive that it's even hard to put in words.
Alex, I see people over and over again, they'll look at something the government is doing, they say, how could they be that wasteful? Or why don't our schools teach Johnny to read and write? They don't understand what the real purpose of the schools are. And they don't understand.
It's to suppress you being a free thinker and having ideas. They're saying that if ideas are bulletproof and you hold on to something, that's evil in and of itself, that you're even a person, that you even have things you stand for. You've got to stand for something or you fall for anything. Well, I guess Aaron Tippett has to be eliminated because he sung that country song.
Well, in Vietnam, too, though, if someone went against the norm, they would just shoot them. They'd pick up an enemy weapon, shoot them in the back, and blame it on that. It's the same thing with Pat Tillman. If you don't believe what they want you to go along with, you're dead.
But meanwhile, it's not like you're even dead in some emergency situation where your country's been overrun and that's war. The globalists are going to screw our way of life 7 ways to Sunday. We don't want to go where they're taking us.
Well, I hope people are going to wake up to this, because the analogy I was going to use with education was, for the longest time, people didn't really understand the nature of why they were creating these government schools as a social engineering thing. Now they're seeing it pretty clearly when you've got the story that you covered this last week about them glorifying homosexual relationships for very, very young children, how they're applauding it. It was like this sick kind of Sesame Street situation. Now they're seeing it with Common Core. They're starting to get an idea that they really don't want to teach Johnny to read and write, that the institution isn't fundamentally broken, that it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. And that's what we have to get people to understand about these asymmetric warfare centers and the training that's going on against the American people. They're doing exactly what they're planning to do, and we need to understand where this is headed, and people just aren't paying attention, unfortunately. I mean, we see this.
That's right. We've got a couple more clips. You want to get to those?
Actually, yeah, I didn't think we were going to play all of these.
Well, there's so many. Tell us about some of the other clips when you've been watching this.
Well, we've got over and over again. We have Dr. John Esposito. We've got also the lieutenant, the colonel, full colonel, retired Hames. They're talking about how this is politically motivated, how this is motivated by people who are actually some of the better educated, more optimistic people in the society.
Yeah, that's why Pol Pot targeted people that could read.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're good people.
Exactly.
And we don't like their sickening takeover, so we've got to be eliminated.
This one here, this radicals are politically motivated, guys. If you can play this one. This is from Dr. John Esposito. And, of course, he's a professor of religion and international affairs. And they took a survey of 1 billion Muslims to see who were the guys that were radicals, who were the potential radicals. And here's what they found.
When you actually look at the moderates and the potential radicals, there's very little difference when it comes to issues of religion. And when you look at potential radicals, often in terms of a significant number of them, they tend to be better educated. They actually tend to be more optimistic. But they feel more intensely concerns about America's role in particular and the West's role more generally.
All right, we're out of time, guys. Great job. The point is being a human, having values, period, and not something you can just overwrite like a disc. That's what's evil. Being human, having a soul is evil. Great job, guys, covering everything there in Virginia. We'll be back with the second hour. Stay with us. It's the InfoWar.
A chemical spill contaminating the water supply in 9 West Virginia counties.
This year alone, over 300,000 people in West Virginia had their drinking water contaminated.
What are the health effects of having these drugs in our drinking water?
It's forced medical treatment without the consent of residents.
My friends, water filtration is one of the most basic actions you can take to protect you and your family from the harmful toxins and heavy metals in your tap water.
On average, the county says it sprays with the glyphosate at least once a week.
Few filters cut out the glyphosate that is found in water supplies worldwide. Remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium hexafluorosilicate.
Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste.
It is our responsibility to protect our families. The establishment's not going to do it. It's time to take action. It's time to filter our water. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and use promo code WATER to get 10% off their entire family of incredible products. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139. This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. The new InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver is the answer for you and your family. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. The InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Silver is so powerful that it is concentrated into a 2-ounce bottle and is not recommended for extended continual use. This is not a low-grade formula. We are working with one of the top laboratory manufacturers in the United States to bring you the best form of colloidal silver using electrical processes within a base of deionized water for your preparedness storage or your home kitchen. Purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
We've got it. This transmission is coming to you.
Waging war on corruption.
All right, you are go.
It's Alex Jones, coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
And my friends, This is an original Sunday, the 18th day of May, 2014, worldwide transmission. This second hour is going to be absolutely jammed.